Happy Wednesday, all. It's Reverend Joel here at the Presbyterian Church of Chestertown. And I wanted to talk to you about something, hospitality. When a church is really hospitable, you're more aware of the guest and the visitor than you are of yourself. And I'm sure that y'all have noticed over the last 6, 9, 12 months, we've been playing with ideas on how to welcome the youngest among us and their families. I want everyone to just pause a minute and imagine yourself as a young parent of a young child. And it's just you. If you happen to be in a relationship with someone else, they're not with you today. It's just you and your child, one of your children. They're smaller and dependent on you and connected to you. You're taking a risk to go to a new church, and you're taking a risk with your child to take them to a new church. You've seen in the papers what happens sometimes when a little one is at church. Well, you walk in the doors with your child, and what should happen? What would you hope happens as you enter? Do you hope someone offers to take them away from you and run them around the corner? Of course not. You want them close, and you want to see them and be able to hear them at all times. You want them to know where you are, and if they needed to run for any reason, they could easily find their way back to you. If they screamed, you would hear their voice and recognize it, and you would feel comfortable. If they were just a little bit away from you, maybe around the corner, maybe even out of sight during worship, you would know that they're okay because you could hear them and they could get to you if they needed to. Over the last few months, we've been playing with how to make this church have maximum hospitality to young parents and young children. And we've tried having an area here in the back of the sanctuary, and now we have the kids' corner in the narthex. We expect something of ourselves when we bring the kids into the kids' corner. We expect for at least 2 of these main 4 doors to stay open while the kids are out here. And that's on purpose. One, we want those in the kids' corner to know when the sermon's over so they can come back to the main worship and they can learn the Apostles' Creed and the Lord's Prayer with the rest of the church. 2, it's so that the kids will never feel like big church isn't for them. Big church is always for the youngest as well. And we need to make it so that it's warm and friendly for them no matter what. So when they grow up, they still feel at home in big church. And the 3rd reason we leave those doors open is so moms, new moms and new kids can get to one another quickly. When a visitor comes in this church, they don't know who we are. They don't know who they can trust. And until we build that trust really well and deeply, to have parents have just enough space where they can focus on sermon and worship, and enough space and connection so they can hear their kid and even see their kid if they need to. It's hospitable. I'm really grateful this church is understanding that and allowing us, when we have a special time for kids up front and when we invite them to come out to the kids' corner here in the narthex, we try to leave at least 2 of these big 4 doors open at all times. And when we do that, moms and kids can hear each other. Teachers can hear when the sermon's over and know when to stop the lesson and come on back in. Now, if you're sitting in the back of our sanctuary and you hear the kids or the teachers out here in the kids' corner and you think it's a little too loud for you, well, there's some other seats in the sanctuary that aren't as close to these doors. In fact, the visiting moms and dads and parents and grandparents might really like to have the seats closest to these doors. And that would be a hospitable thing as well. I hope today, in our prayer time, you'll begin praying for the future young families of this church. They're coming. We don't know when or who they'll be, but they're coming. And I hope you'll begin praying even now for ways you in your own practices here at church can be more and more hospitable to the youngest that come among us. That's who this church was when it was birthed, and that's who it will continue to be. I'm really grateful for those of you who understand this and accommodate the busy, lovely, messy, loud, amazing children of this church. Until we see the kingdom like they do, we don't even see it at all. Until next time, blessing, laughter, and loving be yours.